Hello and greetings to everyone. We are to correct the following exercises on arithmetic operations on directed numbers. The question goes, evaluate the following without the use of a calculator. For A, we have a negative 17 plus positive 31. We take down solution. A, we have negative 17 plus positive 31. This will simply be equal to, look at the two numbers, they have different signs. We take the absolute values, we have 17 and 31. 31 is greater than 17. Simply means the answer will take the sign of 31, which is positive. Then we take their difference, the difference of the absolute values, 31 minus 17. And this will simply be equal to positive 14. So this is the answer. We go now to question B. For B, we have a negative 19 minus negative 23 minus negative 18. This will simply be equal to negative 19. Applying the sign rule, negative negative is positive. Negative 19 plus 23. Negative negative positive plus 18. This will simply be equal to negative 19 plus 23. Taking the absolute values, we have 19 and 23. 23 is greater than 19. That means the answer will be positive. Put the positive sign. Then we take the difference of the two numbers, 23 minus 19 plus 18. This will give us positive 23 minus 19 gives us 4 plus 18. And this will be equal to positive 4 plus 18 gives us positive 22. We go now to question C. For question C, we have positive 13 plus positive 41 plus negative 5. This will simply be equal to positive 13. Positive positive gives us positive plus 41. Positive negative, negative stays minus 5. And this will simply be equal to positive 13 plus 41 is the same as 13 plus 41, which is gives us positive 54 minus 5. And this will simply be equal to positive 54 minus 5 is the same as 54 minus 5, which gives us positive 49. We go now to question D. For D, we have a negative 7 times negative 12 times negative 5. This will simply be equal to, we take the first two numbers, negative times negative gives us positive, then we take 7 times 12. Then we multiply the result by negative 5. This will simply be equal to 7 times 12 gives us 84. This will be positive 84 times negative 5. Next, we have to multiply a positive number by a negative number. The resulting sign is negative. So we take 84 times 5. And this will simply be equal to negative 420. We go now to question E. For E, we have a negative 2 all this cube times positive 3 all this squared. This will simply be equal to negative 2 cube. To recall this, if we have e to the power 3, simply e times e times e. You multiply e by itself 3 times. Negative 2 cube will simply be equal to negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times, for this, positive 3 squared positive 3 times positive 3. This will simply be equal to negative 2 times negative 2. Multiply a negative number by negative number, the resulting sign is positive. So this will give us positive 2 times 2, which is 4, times negative 2 times positive 3 times positive 3. We are multiplying two positive numbers. The resulting sign will be positive. 3 times 3 gives us 9. This will be equal to positive 4 times negative 2. We are multiplying a positive number by a negative number. The resulting sign will be negative. 4 times 2 gives us 8 times positive 9. Negative 8 times positive 9, we are multiplying a negative number by a positive number. The resulting sign will be negative. Then we take 8 times 9. This will simply be equal to negative 72. This is the answer. We move now to question F. For question F, we have negative 12 all this squared divided by negative 6. First, if we evaluate negative 12 all this squared is simply equal to negative 12 times negative 12. And this will simply be equal to, we are multiplying two negative numbers. The result will be positive. 12 times 12 gives us 144. Simply means we take negative 12 all this squared divide by negative 6, it will simply be equal to positive 144 divided by negative 6. And this will simply be equal to positive 144 divided by negative 6. We are dividing a positive number by a negative number. The resulting sign will be negative. Next, we have to divide the absolute values. We divide 144 by 6. This will give us 24. Therefore, negative 12 squared divided by negative 6 gives us negative 24. We go now to G. For G, we have a negative a half, all this squared divided by negative 8. This will simply be equal to negative a half, all that squared. You can break this as negative 1 at the numerator squared all over 2 at the denominator squared divided by negative 8. And this will simply be equal to negative 1 squared. All this squared is simply negative 1 times negative 1, which is 1. This will give us 1 all over 2 squared, which is 2 times 2, gives us 4, divided by negative 8. And write this as negative 8. Or simply, we can simply take negative a half, all this squared as negative a half times negative a half. And this will be equal to, you're multiplying two negative numbers, the result will be positive. 1 times 1 gives 1 all over 2 times 2, which is 4. So this is another way of getting it. Remember, positive 1/4 is the same as 1/4. Negative 8 here can be written as negative 8 over 1. We have to divide two fractions. We are going to maintain the first fraction. We change the division sign to multiplication. Then we invert the second fraction. 1 goes up, negative 8 goes down. This will simply be equal to, we have to multiply 1 times 1 gives us 1 at the numerator. 4 times negative 8 gives us negative 32. And this will simply be the same as 1 all over negative 32 is the same as negative 1 on 32. Most often, we bring up the negative sign. It's not advisable to leave the negative sign at the denominator. Therefore, negative a half, all that squared divided by negative 8 is simply equal to negative 1 on 32. We move now to question H. We have negative 10 times negative 5 minus negative 3 divided by negative 4. This will simply be equal to, we are going to make use of board mass in this question. First thing, we need to start by eliminating the brackets. This will simply be equal to negative 10 times negative 5. Negative is positive. Negative 5 plus 3 divided by negative 4. This will be equal to negative 10 times negative 5 plus 3 is simply the same as, let's do it somewhere by the side, negative 5 plus 3 is simply equal to the two numbers, they have different signs. We take the absolute values, we have 5 and 3, and 5 is greater than 3, so the result will take the negative sign, then we take their difference, 5 minus 3. The answer will be negative 2. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. Then we divide by negative 4. This will be equal to negative 10 times negative 2 gives us positive. We are multiplying two negative numbers, positive 20. Then we divide the result by negative 4. This will be equal to positive 20 divided by negative 4. The resulting sign will be negative. Then we divide the absolute values, 20 divided by 4. And this will be equal to negative 20 divided by 4 gives us 5. The answer will be negative 5. We move now to question I. For I, we have positive 7 times negative 11 minus positive 9 minus positive 3 times negative 6 plus negative 1. This will simply be equal to, applying board mass, we need to start by eliminating the brackets. Positive 7 times negative 11 minus positive 9 is simply this as negative 11 minus 9. Negative positive, negative stays, minus 3 times negative 6. Positive negative, negative stays, minus 1. Close our brackets. This will be equal to positive 7 times negative 11 minus 9. They have a common sign which is negative. We are simply going to add the absolute values, 11 plus 9, which is 20. And we attach the common sign, the negative sign, negative 20 minus 3 times negative 6 minus 1. Two numbers, they have a common sign which is negative. We are going to add the absolute values, we attach the common sign, and the result will be negative 7. This will simply be equal to positive 7 times negative 20 minus 3 times negative 7. And this will be equal to positive 7 times negative 20. We are multiplying a positive number by a negative number. The resulting sign will be negative. Then we take 7 times 20, and this will give us 140. We go to the next. We are multiplying two negative numbers. The resulting sign will be positive. 3 times 7 gives us 21. This will be equal to, we have to add two numbers with different signs, negative 140 and positive 21. Taking the absolute values, 140 is greater than 21. Therefore, the result will carry the sign of 140, which is negative. Then we take the difference of the absolute values, 140 minus 21. And this will simply be equal to negative 119. We are done with the exercises for application on arithmetic operations on directed numbers. If in case you have any questions, feel free to leave your questions at the comment section. Please like the video, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much for watching.